the loud noises, the rage, the getting in your face and screaming at you and being toxic all the time and belittling you, and the manipulation, the lies, so many awful things. And no, I'm not talking about a Trump rally. Also, there's the gaslighting where they try to make you think you're crazy. You're crazy. Just like that film with Charles Boyer and Ingrid Bergman. Oh, so many things that they do. Yes, I'm talking about a toxic, covert, or overt, or any kind of narcissist. Okay, I don't care what their real, name is. All I know is that they're one of the worst creatures on the face of the earth. I began to call mine Sasquatch, okay? Because he was big and he was in every part of my life, the period of time that I stayed with him temporarily. At first, there was the love bombing. Yes, apparently there are these little categories. Love bombing starts where they just do everything. Boy, he was feeding me all the time. The first day I got there was like, I just wanted to rest. He wouldn't shut up, okay? And I just wanted to be in my room. And this person would come into the room next to mine. If there had been a hole in the wall, I'm sure they would have been staring at me through it. All right, I really felt like 24 hours a day, I was under a petri dish, like their play mouse. So they could just play with me like a little mouse, and move it around and whenever they liked. Stalking, I forgot to mention stalking. And before I ever came down to this area to stay here temporarily while I looked for a place to move to, um, I never ever knew that they were like this. I knew that they were like not that great. Yes, it's a part of my family. He is a part of my family. But I never knew to what degree how screwed up he was. I knew my parents, were totally dysfunctional. But you know what? When I got out of my house, when I grew up, that was it. I moved on. I grew up. It was difficult because, when you come from a dysfunctional family, there are roadblocks, okay? They get in your way, but I didn't even think of them. I just kept moving forward, but I had no idea that I had two siblings and one that really stood out and was like Rosemary's baby. Maybe he is Rosemary's baby, I'm not sure. But it has been the most difficult period of having to deal with anyone in my entire life. And I lived in New York City for 17 years, and I have seen it all, honey. I have seen all kinds of diagnoses, and this was probably the worst I have ever been around. And you know what? You should never have to go through that. And especially, if you're young and naive, which his last wife, I think, was when she first met him. I don't have any idea how she stayed with him as long as she possibly did. But it had to be because she was not experienced in any way, shape, or form. But even if you are, which I was walking on eggshells all the time. I couldn't sleep, wondering what would he be today? Would Sasquatch be kind and overly, trying to be nice? Or would he be at my throat? And when they're at your throat, it's pretty horrible. Now, I have two other narcissists in my life, and one of them I did get rid of, and I'm an empath, and I care. I do, because there are certain things about certain relationships that always make you feel okay. This one, not so much. He's 8 years older than me. And I guess as a very young kid, I never saw this. I mean, I saw certain things, I heard things from his daughter, but until you're around that person, sometimes you just don't know. It's like watching the ID channel. He was a pastor. He was so nice. He cared about us all, and then he killed everyone. It happens. It's weird. So to all of you people, and there are tons of videos about this, but I lived it, and I can't believe it. And I'm finally out, and I just hope I can feel better because it drained every inch of energy out of me, even though I knew early on, but I still had to look it up. I was looking it up every single day. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Because it's draining to be around a human being like that. a Sasquatch who just takes your energy, every inch of your being, which is what I have to say. My mother did as well, and I love her dearly, but I'm telling you, when you come from a dysfunctional family, I guess it doesn't, you know, I'm lucky that I got out and I didn't do that. I feel very lucky, but I'm sorry I had to go through it because it leaves a really bad feeling in your mouth and the rest of your body, okay? And that's all I'm going to say. One of my New Year's resolutions is that I hope I can get over this and forget about it. And I don't know if I'll ever really be able to be there because you can't really have a relationship with that kind of human being. It is a sheer fact. I'm telling you right now, it is a fact. You cannot with anyone that you can't ever trust or know is lying or trying to make you feel like you're crazy. What is up with that? So uh, you know, my experience, I'm going to tell you, run, Forrest, run, okay? And have a wonderful new year and don't ever look back. And love yourself. Always love yourself because you don't make another person feel like that or be like that, okay? You be you and you just get out. Happy New Year.